Okay, so let us get let me see if our panelists are already there in the attendees list. Sanjay Kumar ji has joined. He's co-host of the program.
नमस्कार साथियों.
Namaskar.
जय हिंद, जय विश्व.
जय हिंद, जय विश्व, जय
Wonderful to
जगन्नाथ.
see you here.
Payal ji has already joined in, so we're expecting Sri Dushyant Dave. Namaskar.
Namaskar, namaskar.
So shall we start?
Alama Sahab has also joined. I have promoted him to panelist.
Namaskar.
Namaste Payal ji, namaste Alama Sahab and everyone here.
Namaskar everyone.
Shall we start? It's already 5 minutes past.
Yes, please go ahead.
So namaskar and welcome to the session on strident nationalism vis-a-vis Vishwaguru globalism. The real identity of Bharat, that is India and Hindustan. Now, this will look like a long title, but I'll just kind of deconstruct it. So, strident nationalism is something that we're all getting concerned about, that nationalism is raising its ugly head rather than just its benign and regenerative sides that we all appreciate. Vishwaguru globalism is a word that I would like to propose to represent that what really is Bharat. I mean, is it just another nation state, a piece of geography? Or as Vishwaguru, is it just a badge of honor? Or is there a larger responsibility in the new world order that is waiting to happen? And considering that the old world order has already fallen apart, given the fact that we are in the more than 18 months of emergency health crisis. So now I'll introduce the panelists. To begin with, we have eminent lawyer and one of the most inspiring truth warriors, Shri Dushyant Dave, on board. We have a former IAS officer, Kamal Tauri ji, who's again one of the most inspiring and Jujharu people at the age of 76, who I know. Syed Abdullah Tariq ji, Alama Sahab से मेरी मुलाकात हुई और उनको मिलते ही मुझे लगा कि मैं रामपुर गया था और पहली बात जो मैंने उनसे कही कि मुझे लग रहा है मैं घर पहुंच गया हूं. तो जो हम लोग अबुल कलाम जी के बारे में जानते हैं, मैं इसलिए कह रहा हूं क्योंकि अभी मेरा उनसे नया परिचय हुआ है. But very inspiring person. Namaskar, sir. Yeah. So my co-host for the program is Professor Sanjay Sharma, who's a long-time associate, and we work together on several initiatives. Namaskar.
Assalamu alaikum, namaskar, and wonderful to have you here all.
Thank you.
Thank you for the program, CV, and all my friends here.
Okay. So Professor Sanjay Sharma and I have worked together on model implementations and also setting up an innovation lab in an engineering college under Atal New India Challenge by Niti Aayog. So all these experiences is what we'll be bringing together in our implementation plan and in our training programs. As in the last session, there was a demand. Now we have Payal Kakriya ji, and it's a very interesting composition of the panel. She is a consciousness uplifter. She's an energy therapist, and she's based out of Australia. And she's also a bestseller of a book on intuitive. Since I've just got to know her, I would request her to introduce more at the time comes. We'll start with Shri Dushyant Dave ji, who interacted with me on trying to get to know more about Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore, why we are doing this. Sir, can we have your thoughts on the topic, strident nationalism vis-a-vis Vishwaguru globalism? What really is Bharat, that is India and Hindustan?
The short answer to this is the Constitution of India. The Constitution of India, that's the Bharat that was conceived by Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore. The preamble of that constitution is very important, and I'll read it with your permission. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of an individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. Now, this preamble, to my mind, is a complete,
Sir, could you be a little louder, please? I'm sorry. Yeah. Could you place your mic a little closer? Yeah. Thank you.
Preamble to the Constitution of India, to my mind, and of course, Constitution as a document, is a complete answer to the, the complete misconception of this word nationalism. And, it really, I mean, the equality clause in Article 14 of the Constitution, for example, really strikes against any kind of, unequal treatment on the ground of race, religion, caste, etc., etc. Now, that's precisely what Gurudev Tagore was against. And I will begin with few thoughts that I have been able to cull out. Writing a letter to his friend, Mr. Bose, Gurudev Tagore in 1908 said, "Patriotism can't be our final spiritual shelter. I will not buy a glass for the price of diamonds, and I will never allow patriotism to triumph over humanity as long as I live." Now, these were his very profound words. Supreme Court's decision ordering all cinemas to play Jana Gana Man, a composition of Tagore, has symbolized it into a nationalism, something that Tagore was completely critical of and described it as carnivorous and cannibalistic. He believed that when love for a country gives away to worship or becomes a sacred obligation, then disaster is inevitable. He famously said, "I am willing to serve my country, but my worship I reserve for right, which is far greater than the country. To worship my country as God is to bring curse upon it," he said. And these are the words that he speaks through his protagonist Nikhil in his very beautiful novel, The Home and the World, in 1916. To him, freedom of mind was most important. And he believed that that mind was needed, the freedom for reception of truth, because terror otherwise will kill it. Nationalism to him was xenophobic. Writing in Modern Review, a Calcutta journal, he had said, as I speak about international desire to achieve the unity of men by destroying the bondage of nationalism in order to achieve unity of man. Now, this is precisely why he said, and this is globalism. He said, "It's my conviction that my countrymen will gain truly their India by fighting against that exclusiveness which creates a country which is not really good, and it is against the principle of humanity." He was against political civilization, as we all know, and Hitler's Germany, in fact, said that Germany, which is the light of Europe's culture, that has been brought to a complete destruction by the principle of nationalism, which was very popular in Germany, in Japan those days. So he, in fact, feared that his thoughts of nationalism were contrary to what Mahatma Gandhi's nationalism stood for. And he, in fact, wrote to his friend, Mr. Andrews, when he was in New York, that I am afraid to come back to India now, because if I come back to India today, I will be completely isolated, because my thoughts are, my people will not be able to understand, because they believe that, country is higher than God. And this is something which I don't accept. His famous novel, Gora, is a classic example of his views on nationalism. And that is something which, resonates in our mind for, I think, generations to come. One of the very leading writers, Rudolf Heredia, he had said in an article, and I quote him, about Tagore, Tagore's idea of India was distinctly syncretic. He imagined a civilization embedded in the tolerance, encoded in various traditional ways of life, in a highly diverse, plural society, welcoming all people and all cultures. Now, that was what Tagore was about. And today, I mean, very few people really understand the nationalism, which was not approved by a person as great as Tagore was, one of the greatest sons of this country. And it is therefore really very difficult for us to understand that why is it that despite such great thoughts in our country, Tagore was, to my mind, not just a poet, a greatest poet, but was also a great social reformer, a great political thinker, and a great humanist. And thoughts therefore should have really been resonating. And after the coming in of the Constitution of India, now to really go back into that small-mindedness and in the name of nationalism to really attack on the ground of race, religion, caste, etc., does not really go a long way. This country has to be part of the global structure of the world. And I have no doubt that this kind of an approach will be defeated by the majority of people in times to come.
Dushyant-ji, I have certain seminal questions about the reality of what Bharat is. I mean, is it another run-of-the-mill nation state, like a European nation state with strict boundaries? Or in containing its diversity, its vivid diversity, is it a microcosm of globalism? And even traditionally, it is called Nabhi Khand, which is the nucleus. So are we going to ruin ourselves by becoming yet another, also ran a nation state, giant monolithic?
See,
am I right in asking this?
As Tagore had always said, that he preferred society to a nation. And this is something important because he wanted to build a society where everybody was respected, all rights were respected, and humanity was really the principle governing the society. The idea of a nation was always, foreign to him. He did not. And today, that idea of a nation is becoming more and more narrow-minded so far as India is concerned, which is not good. I don't think we should really think in a kind of a nationalistic way. It's, every one of us who's an Indian loves India. We don't need to be told that we must love India in a particular fashion. And by, making few slogans, we can express ourselves to be. We don't need a society like that. We have definitely reduced ourselves into a society where you have to prove, you are required to prove that you love Mother India. And that's something which is completely unacceptable. So as a nation, there is no doubt about the fact that India is definitely receding into a very, I would say, narrow-mindedness, and that as a society, as a nation, does not hold good for us. And I must say one thing, that as a result of this, India's stature in the international community is getting affected. India was a highly respected nation. Our 5,000 years of history, everybody in the world has regarded it well. But it is this, kind of a pseudo-nationalism, which is really hurting India's image abroad. And it is definitely likely to push India into a corner with a passage of time. And it seems to be happening because many international organizations have criticized India's so-called nationalism and the impact that it has on the religions, on races, on caste, on the functioning of the society, on very governance. United States has been critical of it for a long, long time. Even many other countries have questioned their parliament, members have questioned it within their parliaments in England, in Canada and other places. So I personally feel that yes, India is certainly, we must realize one thing, that our political, geographical, or a political boundary is not going to be impacted because of this kind of a, by shouting few slogans. We need to really become a strong nation by allowing everybody to grow without any discrimination whatsoever, and without any kind of an ill treatment against any, anybody on any consideration. So that unless society becomes strong, unless it becomes, completely inclusive and does not, try and make it exclusive by keeping certain sections of society out of the development, that is really something which we have to ponder. We are certainly today reached a situation where a sizable section of the society, be it the minorities, be it the Dalits, many other, sections of society are getting left out in the development. And that is directly the impact of this so-called, pseudo-nationalism, which some people are tom-tomming, and trying to prove that they love Mother India more than others do. So it is definitely hurting us, and it will hurt us beyond repair, because with 135 crore people, it's not easy task for us to really regroup and redevelop quickly. So I think we are every day lost, to my mind, is a serious loss to India.
So I'll now invite Allama Syed Abdullah Tariq ji to with the same question, that is India a case of misplaced identity? That are we making a fundamental mistake in trying to be another run-of-the-mill nation state, when our identity as Vishwaguru is to be a microcosm of the entire world? Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam and Gavo Vishwashamatra, to my understanding, convey the same meaning. Allama Saab.
Please unmute yourself.
Yes. If nationalism is allegiance for a particular race or land against other, a race or land against others in all rights and wrongs, then it is against justice and against larger humanity. The earth was meant for all to live in equitably. The religion also preaches that God had created the earth and fashioned it to suit the requirements of the human beings collectively. Our scriptures say Gita, it is proclaimed as, when I'm trying to explain what the word Bharat has become, we have come to associate it with this piece of land. While it was in our great traditions, what was Bharat? When it said that Yada Yada Dharma se Glanir Bhavati Bharata in Gita, somewhere, I mean, in some shlokas, we think the Arjun was addressed by Shri Krishna. In some close, in some other, on other occasions, we think and we translate it as Sanjay is calling Dhritarashtra as Bharat. So what was Bharat? I mean, Shri Krishna's message was Sarvabhaum, for the whole humanity, for the whole world, or for this piece of land. So in all the 22 verses, 22 shlokas, which I've gone through in Gita, Bharata was the larger humanity, not Arjun. And Shri Krishna was not giving the message to the Arjun, or Sanjay was not addressing the Dhritarashtra as Bharat, because he was quoting Shri Krishna. So that Bharata we have come to associate with this, our nation, which is now, I mean, whatever we call it, India or Hindustan. That was so in Quran too. Quran said it is Ardullah, the land of God, all the land, the whole world. And there is another ayah of Quran, Huwallazi khalaqa lakum ma fil ardi jamia. He it is that God, He had created for all of you, for all the humanity, whatever is there on earth and in the skies. So that was the concept the religion has given. The political boundary is called nations today, that started with the usurpation and forcible occupation. To safeguard their interest of occupation, the rulers require to inculcate the feelings of we or us superior to others. The natural feelings of love for homeland are exploited to create nationalism, which itself is undesirable as it is discriminatory. Strident nationalism or aggressive nationalism that comes in when a dictator or a strongman wants to procure extraordinary or unlimited power, then it becomes no different than fascism. So I want to show you the 2 or 3 slides what my concept of Bharat in the light of Gita and Vedas. I've studied them, and Quran. Let me share those slides with you. Share. This is Bharat. The whole world was called Bharat. And then, sorry. So, let's have to measure. Yeah. And then this part was the Bharat Khand, which the Purana said Jambudyup. When the earth started disintegrating because of hates among others, because of hates for the other civilizations, the other native cultures, the Quran says that Karanaso illa ummatan wahida, all the people were one nation. Then they started differing. So when we differed, we started disintegrating. And Bharat, this was actually the Bharat Khand, this map. When we disintegrated, and it has in fact its map is there in my place. Mr. Chandra Vikash has seen it. It has these 36 countries in it. It has Afghanistan, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Brunei, Cambodia, Hong Kong, India, Indonesia, Iran, Japan, Kazakhstan. These are the countries where we still can trace some commonalities of the same culture. I mean, I have proof for that, but I'm not going through that here. Then, if the earth could become one human nation again, no armies and no weapons of destruction would be needed. The world today spends more than $1.8 trillion on weapons. This is sufficient to satiate the hunger of all starved regions of the world, plus their basic medical needs. The closure of this huge industry will also help healing the atmosphere. Fascism, it preaches one culture for all, imposing the culture of the dominant groups over others, while in the one earth concept, all the local cultures preserve themselves and prosper to cooperate with each other. Aggressive nationalism increases the gap between poor and rich. Like in today's countries, the resources of one province are used to cater to the needs of the other. In one earth, with equitably redrawn boundaries, the resources of one part of the world will be used to cater to the needs of the other part of the world. One human race concept is very essential to one earth, because only then comes the brotherhood and care for others like they are one family. The recreation of one earth for all is called the inception of Satyuga here, or it is called in Islamic terminology. Satyuga is called it's called Dore Haq. I mean, Sat is Haq and Yuga is Dore Haq. So it has been described in both the religions. In Dharmic terminology, it's called that. Religion is a strong binding force. It is a misconceived conception or notion that religion creates discords. What we see in people are philosophies, not religion. The dharma or the true religion of one God is one. The contest, not many religions. There cannot be many religions. There cannot be many dharmas when God is one. The contents of main divine scriptures testify to it. Sanatan Dharma and Islam, both being two forms of essentially one dharma, they had foretold the Satyug will come again on earth, and India will lead the movement. Only India has the potentiality of becoming the Vishwaguru or the age of Satyug because of two reasons. Number one, it is a Dharma Pradhan country, overwhelming population being religious. I mean, they can give fill the gap of spirituality and morality. And India has been, and second reason, India has been the world leaders in the previous golden age. It has the potential of becoming a motivating force again. So, I mean, Bharat, this part of this region, we call the Hindustan was Hindustan comprised of Pakistan, Pakistan of today, and Bangladesh and Nepal and Sri Lanka. That was our Hindustan, and this is the Khandit Hindustan, which we call India now. So, if we say Bharat, I mean, we have to have a larger vision, and we have to achieve that now. Then, and for that, we'll have to start from here, from India, and then give the when we create a role model here, then we'll I mean, teach others and become a Vishwa Guru and expand our concept.
Yeah, thank you for so beautifully elucidating the concept of Bharat and how there are parallels in various cultures. You know, it's really just a matter of translation. I mean, I don't see any change, any difference in its spirit, in its ethos. So now I move to Sri Kamal Tauri, Dr. Kamal Tauri, with a question that, you know, Marx said that religion is opium for the masses. Now, has nationalism in its present form become religion on steroids? Has it, you know, kind of led to become a bane for humanity? Is it the fundamental reason for rising inequality and exploitation in the world today? Do you see there is enough evidence for that? Dr. Kamal Tauri.
चलिए साहब बहुत बहुत thank you very much. First of all, number one, thank you very much. Congratulations. 1, 2. The quality I was seeing, the attendance, very good. I am very sure these are the people who have open mind, ability to listen, and I am so grateful that you have provided this opportunity to share my views. Now, first of all, I was born in Wardha. This is the place, Sevagram, Pavanar, where Gandhi, Vinoba worked. Then I was in Bangladesh operation as a captain, young captain in the army.
But can you just raise
Then
your
I was
camera?
in the IAS.
Yeah, thank you.
Then I must say that after serving in the IAS, now I have been working with a German company for which 6 months this is to just understand Kamal Tauri, what am I? And I have written 40 books, and now we are working around what are the missing links. What is the missing link? Why we are not able to reach our full potential? So I will use 4 or 5 words: hippo, kippo, tippo, pippo, jippo, dippo. Hippo is a hidden investable potential power of organization. Hidden.
Yeah.
Then it is known. Then it is kippo, known investable potential power. Then it's threatening investable potential power. Threatening biodiversity, youth, economics, development. All these words, they need to be hippo, hidden, known, then threatening if you don't understand their complications. Then comes hippo, kippo, tippo, pippo, frightening. Oh God, I never thought it could be such a serious disaster. It could be affecting the whole world. It could lead to law and order, massive population control, and disaster on the holistic disaster. So hippo, kippo, tippo, pippo, then comes jippo, globalizationally investable potential power. Now, globalization means both. If you have a good leadership, transparent systems, timely reactive society, then globalization is both an asset and a total liability. Countries which don't realize the importance of localization, local jobs, local water, local seeds, local knowledge, local water resources, local, practices, culture. Now, that is both a strength and a weakness. So, from hippo, kippo, tippo, pippo, jippo, we go to last stage, that is dippo. Disastrously investable potential power of organization, whether it is state or it is religion or community or even caste or schools or local. Now, we know all about
Can you
fraud.
move a little away from the
We
camera?
really
You're actually very close to the camera. I think you're.
Yeah, we can see his brain, sir.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello? Am I
Yes,
audible?
speak a little louder.
Sir, yeah.
And stay away from the camera a little bit. We are not able to see your face.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Now it's
please,
okay. Yeah.
that is called continuous improvement process. Please guide in time, correct in time, motivate in time, and stop in time. Now, the point is, I was mentioning about this hippo, kippo, tippo, pippo, jippo, and dippo. Now we are in the disastrously investable potential stage. Climate emergency, corona, overpopulation, these biodiversity loss. We know all the challenges. Now, religion-based institutions, RBI, community-based institutions, CBI, spirituality-based institutions, SBI. Now, can we re-engineer, demystify, go into origin of them, whether it is religion or spirituality or caste, or even economics for that matter? I will give my frank opinion. At the age of 76, having documented my experiences in the 40 books, now we are working around marketing the unmarketed India. Marketing the unmarketed India. This means precisely we have to understand what is India, what is India's potential, what are our strengths, what are our weaknesses, and then we come to what is missing. Why we, despite Tagore's all the initiatives, Tagore, Vivekananda, Gandhi, DAV, they all introduced number of efforts, education, culture, Harijan Sevak Sangh, Khadi Gramodyog, all institutions. But why have they failed? They have not stood the test of time. The principles for which they were created, they all failed. Now, obviously, since I was born in Varda, and I know the culture of Varda, I have a right to share my concern. I have written some books on what happened, why Gandhi, Vinoba Kumarappan, including Tagore's, all vision could not succeed. Now, so demystification, re-engineering. Now, this is how we matter here. This is a book, just one of the books, Marketing the Unmarketed India, a rationalist quest for holistic understanding, rationalist. And then I went to, because I was working in the Planning Commission. So I have come out with this book on last chance to go forward to nature and the urgent need to demystify, to re-engineer, and to reappropriate to the challenges of our time. I will just take two more because I want this forum to be not only a visionary, analytical, philosophical, etc., but also practical, and how to implement our concerns into plan of action. Well, I am working on it. Our German company is working on it, and it will be our great pleasure to market the unmarketed potential. Now, I have become more and more optimist, rationalist, not spiritualist, but definitely more atheist and more student. At the age of 76, I feel we have to reflect.
Thank you so much, sir. We are precisely doing that. We are trying to market the unmarketable. And the unmarketable question that I would like to put to our next speaker, Payal Kakria ji, who's an Indian diaspora based in Australia, is that when you hear the word sovereignty in the Indian Constitution, and when we hear about our aspirations to be Vishwaguru, do you see certain contradictions in these two? How can a nation state be sovereign and yet be a Vishwaguru? Payal Kakria ji, your thoughts.
Okay. First of all, thank you very much, Chandra Vikas ji, for trusting in me and inviting me with such legends. So I think, whatever Abdul Tariq ji has said, and, these people, they've already said so much. I think I'm falling short of words here. But yes, the question that you are saying is, look, I think we have a potential of being a Vishwaguru. That's my true belief. But yes, the contradictions that you're talking about is because we all, even as humans, no one is perfect, right? And I think we as a country, we have a lot of potential, but the only thing that we are lacking is that we have this limited set of belief that, how we were talking about that we associate Bharat, and as an Indian, we associate ourselves to a piece of land. right? And if we want to move into the new world order, we need to shed our old limiting beliefs. And the old limiting beliefs is just that association of what a true Bharat is, and what potential we have. And if we all, as a collective consciousness, we want to reach that level, then are we ready to put in those efforts? This knowledge is lacking, actually. So I truly believe that India has the potential. We have already proved it in the past with all our scriptures. I think it's in our blood. We have just forgotten. We have just forgotten what the true meaning of humanity, what the true meaning of Bharat is. So I think the lack of knowledge is a contradiction, according to me. And once we are able to reach people with that right kind of knowledge, that this is what we are missing, this is the ultimate goal that we are trying to reach, and we all need to be united for that. Only a set of people won't be able to, no matter how big a vision we have, no matter how much we think about it, we cannot be a role model unless and until we collectively as Indians, try and do something and prove it to the world that we are all one. So we have to be an example, just like, the oldest person in the family is a leader. He shows how the family can stay together. So we are trying to make the whole world of a big family, right? And in one small family, you see how how people cannot tolerate each other. The tolerance level is low, and we are talking about the whole world to come together. And nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. I'm very sure about it, because of the infinite potential that the divine has given us. It's the lack of knowledge. We are in a sleeping state right now, every one of us. So as a consciousness mentor, I know people are vibrating at a very low frequency, and that is why they have a lot of fear, a lot of jealousy, a lot of competition. These all things need to go, and they can only leave our minds, when we raise our consciousness. जैसे जैसे हम अपनी चेतना पे काम करते हैं, हमारी चेतना जितनी ऊपर उठेगी, हम उतना ही ज्यादा बड़ा, उतना ही ज्यादा अच्छा, उतना ही विशाल अपने लिए और दूसरों के लिए सोच पाएंगे. So one thing that I want to say is that I believe that there are no walls that exist in this world. The only walls that exist are in our human minds. ये हमने ही दीवारें खड़ी की हैं आपस में. तो सबसे पहले हम लोगों को एकजुट होके, हम जो लोग अवेयर हो चुके हैं, जो लोग समझ रहे हैं कि इसकी क्या अहमियत है, और हाँ, हमारे पास विश्व गुरु बनने का पोटेंशियल है, और हमारे पास बहुत सारा डाटा है, हमारे पास बहुत सारी हिस्ट्री है. वी हैव अ लॉट ऑफ बैकअप. आप समझ रहे हैं, पास्ट में अगर हम देखें तो हम बहुत कुछ बैकलॉग इकट्ठा करके इवन हम लोग फिगर्स दे सकते हैं कि दिस इज व्हाट वी हैव डन इन द पास्ट. एंड just because we have done it in the past, we definitely have the potential to move forward. It's just कि कौन वो जिम्मेवारी लेगा, और एक जना ये काम नहीं कर सकता है. We have to come together as a family. उसमें हमें ये नहीं देखना है कि दिन है कि रात है कि क्या है. हमें बस हमारा गोल क्लियर होना चाहिए कि हाँ, भारत विश्व गुरु है, और हमें जब तक उस चीज में यकीन नहीं होगा कि हाँ, हम विश्व गुरु बन सकते हैं, और हम अपनी प्रॉब्लम्स पे ही फोकस करते रहेंगे, तो हम सॉल्यूशन की तरफ नहीं बढ़ पाएंगे. तो आई बिलीव कि हम सबको, जो भी लोग यहाँ पे हमारे साथ इकट्ठे हो रहे हैं, उन सबको इतनी जिम्मेवारी लेनी चाहिए कि हम आपस में एक दूसरे के साथ मिलके जितने भी लोगों को जगा सकते हैं, ये मैसेज पहुंचा सकते हैं. अपने आप लोग जुड़ते हैं, अपने आप चेतनाएं जब ऊपर उठती हैं तो अपने आप काम होते हैं. द यूनिवर्स जस्ट हेल्प्स यू.
बहुत सुंदर पायल जी, नमस्कार. यही भाव जो वसुधैव कुटुंबकम का है. तो मैं थोड़े लीगलिटीज के एस्पेक्ट पे आई कम बैक टू दुष्यंत दवे जी with some specific set of arguments, questions. For example, if you see native people, indigenous people world over are called Indians. Number one. Dushyant Daviji, is the
Yes, I can hear you.
yeah. So the first point is I'm making is that indigenous people all over the world are called Indians. Number one. Number two is that we our belief system, whether it's Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam or Gavo Vishwashamatra, or it is Savidya ya Vimuktaye. I believe that nationalism is blinding us and it is preventing us from getting free of ignorance. At the same time, the contradictions between sovereignty and Vishwaguru, I think, runs against the grain of an international declaration to which Government of India is a signatory. I am pointing out to the United Nations Declaration for Rights of Indigenous People, which was passed unanimously by General Assembly in the year 2007. And I had the opportunity to look at it, study it carefully, and also translate it into Hindi and present it to the then Culture Minister, Dr. Mahesh Sharma, in which it is very clearly written that if the nation state doesn't safeguard your cultural systems, your justice systems, your food system, your education system, even your political system, if your health system, like we heard the other day that Ayurvedic practitioners in Maharashtra are prohibited from taking decisions for their patients. So why are we, in a country which we call as free, more draconian, more carnivorous, more cannibalistic than what Tagore called the imperialists at that time? What kind of freedom are we talking about? What is a bundle of contradictions? Can we just review our constitution, please?
It's very interesting. Tagore always believed that freedom does not mean independence. It really means a harmony of relationship. And that, he said, can be realized only when you realize the being, not through the knowledge. And there is a very interesting, passage in the one of the Upanishads, I forget which one, where the writers quote Narad, who says that I know Rig Veda, I know the Yajur, I know the Samveda. With all these, I know the mantras and the sacred books, but I do not know myself. Now, India's position is that of Narada. India doesn't know itself today. India does not realize that this kind of a narrow-mindedness is really not the history of India, not the culture of India, not the scriptures of India. See, starting from the Vedic age, where every object, every force was considered to be divinity, and people worshipped them. Then came the Upanishads. But when Bhagavad Gita was written, one of the single most, I would say, insistence of Bhagavad Gita is the harmony between reality and knowledge through love and righteous living, through rising above the ego to identify with the self. Now, Ram and Krishna both are beautiful embodiment of love and righteousness, and particularly in public life. That is why Rama is called always Maryada Purushottam. Now, this philosophy of India, where every love is something which is so sacrosanct in our scriptures, if that is forgotten, if that the basis of Ramayana and Mahabharata is not remembered, and we are going to create hatred amongst ourselves for some reason or the other, I particularly feel that India today is so seriously divided, and this is what Tagore had feared even before his death. He in fact said in 1941 on his deathbed that this is not the India that I had envisioned, that I would live to see, because it was completely a different idea from what he had really thought India should be. Now, that is something which is really troublesome. I have no answer. I mean, there is no solution which I can see around unless we really as a nation introspect. I mean, it's very difficult for I think in a body polity that we have, these small considerations that everybody has. beginning from the politicians to the citizens. Everybody has, is looking at India from a personal, prism. Nobody is looking at India from a prism of a society as a whole, not as a nation. We don't need to worry about nation because nation is here to stay. Nobody's going to, it is indestructible. It is not going to be destroyed by anybody, whether it's, So it's something which we have to really understand, that how do we now bring about this relationship amongst the people founded purely on love, which can really result in transforming the society, in ensuring that we can really achieve the objects that we have of peace, prosperity, and development. That is something which is, I don't see it coming around in a foreseeable future. And it worries me because we, the present generation, are therefore leaving for the future generation of Indians a nation which is so badly divided on completely illogical considerations that it is going to be very difficult for them to find peace in their lives. And if you don't find peace in the life, then this search for self-realization, that is impossible for anybody to really, and that's what our scriptures tell us, that we should be constantly striving for that search. Unfortunately, there is no time left for that. We are only left with bickerings and day-to-day fights in our society.
Sir, thank you so much. But your very words instill in me lots of hope and lots of vigor that going forward, we'll certainly not only find the answers for ourselves, but also realize what our true identity is, which is the topic of this session. I'll bring it back: strident nationalism vis-a-vis Vishwaguru globalism. So I come back to somebody who I believe knows much better in terms of what Bharat is, that it's the whole world. And he also believes that we are all Hindus in India, Hindustani Indians. And he also preaches in the mosques. Allama Sayyid Abdullah Tariq ji, मैं आपसे ये सवाल पूछ रहा हूँ सर कि प्रैक्टिकली अगर हम कहते हैं कि भारत सिर्फ एक भूखंड नहीं है, अगर हम मान लेते, इस सिनेरियो को मान लेते, तो यदि हम कहें कि दुनिया भर में जो इंडियन डायस्पोरा is about, let's say, over 1 billion people, then let's say that if you say that Quran is Din-e-Qayyam, which means Sanatan Dharma. So if Sanatan Dharma is the common bonding between all Hindus, then if there are 2 billion Muslims who believe that there is one world and there is Din-e-Qayyam, so 3 billion of us put together. I'm just, looking at how do we build this momentum and mobilize, the 7.8 billion people on the earth, on Mother Earth, who truly believe that, like a biologist says, life did not take over the globe by combat, but by love and compassion and networking. So can we find the answers in taking this movement forward with what I propose, that instead of United Nations, just as it replaced the League of Nations, the same concerns that Tagore had, that it is the aggressors leading to separatedness. And he even went to the extent saying that it's like dacoits running the police department. So, and in that lecture, George Bernard Shaw was there, and he gets up and corroborates what Tagore is saying, that I've been telling my people not to listen to the politicians, but he then says that it is an uphill task to go against their political will. I think the politicians have completely lost it. It's only the spiritual leaders, it's only the truth warriors who can inspire and motivate and enroll billions of people to move in a particular direction, which is towards a holistic and harmonious world order. So in that regard, sir, do you think that the whole proposition of creating Earth Sansad, Gaia Earth Sansad, on the principles of Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, on the principles of Gavo Vishwashamatra, where Gau is not just Jeev Rupi, but also Prithvi Rupi. And this is what is reflected in the Greek goddess concept of Gaia. So there are so many parallels, so much syncretism. Can we make our diversity into synergy and rewrite a new script of a new harmonious and holistic world order? What are the chances do we have?
The first thing is that we must decide between ourselves that we will do it. We must have faith. We are already doing it. When I'll tell you about our organization work, there are 700 districts in India, and we have planned to reach out to every remote and remotest villages personally to deliver the message and personally convince the masses. And we can easily relate to them these things. These are not very high things and to be discussed between only intellectuals. We reach out to the people. We are already in more than 150 districts, and we have a core team in every district wherever we are. We have volunteers like where I put in Rampur. Every week, at least 10 or 12 teams, they go out to on a particular day. They go out to the nearby villages or the of the whole, and we have covered the whole district many times over. So they reach out to people and they relate to them using the religion, like you said, what the true religion is. It was the difference of languages only, because say what we say to them. I'll give you an example. वहां पहले यहाँ पर पहले हमारी कथाओं के अंदर एक महाजल प्लावन वाले मनु होते थे. वो हमारे बहुत से पुराणों के अंदर भी है और हमारे शतपथ ब्राह्मण में भी है, और कुछ थोड़ा सा उनका हिंट्स जो है वो वेदास में भी है. तो उनके समय में विश्व स्तरीय एक फ्लड आया, बाढ़ आई. सारा विश्व ये भी देखे हमारी सारी ट्रेडिशन के अंदर, द होल वर्ल्ड. ये कॉन्सेप्ट ये था, खाली भारत नहीं, तो ये जो आज का भारत नहीं, इंडिया नहीं, तो द होल वर्ल्ड इट ड्राउन्ड, इसलिए कि सब पापी हो गए थे. तो वो ही सर्वाइव्ड विद हिज फॉलोअर्स इन अ शिप, उसके अपने नौका में. तो उनके जो those who accompanied the महाजल प्लावन वाले मनु, those who accompanied him, they were called the Sapt Rishis, men and women, Sapt Rishis. तो जब वो floods recede हुए and the ship, वो नौका रुका वो, and they came out, तो अब सारी दुनिया जो है वो उनकी संतान है. वहां से फिर दोबारा ह्यूमैनिटी स्टार्ट हुई. जब दोबारा ह्यूमैनिटी स्टार्ट हुई, हम जाने दें अभी शुरू में कोई कंट्रडिक्शन इसमें कि ब्रह्मा जी ने किसको सिर से पैदा किया था, किसको पैरों से अभी छोड़े. लेकिन उसके अंदर, उस फ्लड के अंदर, जो ब्राह्मण था वो भी पापी था, डूब गया. जो क्षत्रिय था वो भी पापी था. जो वैश्य और जो शूद्र थे वो भी पापी थे, सब डूब गए. अब कौन बचे? मनु महाराज बचे और ऋषि बचे. आज तो सारी दुनिया जो है वो ऋषियों की संतान है. अब कहां से आ गए दोबारा से, ये सब आए कहां से? तो ये समझ में आता है लोगों के, and they can understand. हमने उनको, and because we relate this story because this story is there in Quran, this story is there in the Bible. So the Jews, the Christians, the Muslims, the Sanatan Dharmis, more than 80% of the believers, they believe in this event. तो ये इतना बड़ा बाइंडिंग एक इवेंट है जो हमें वहां से मिलता है कि कोई कास्ट नहीं होनी चाहिए. तो है ये क्या कि हमें एक मॉडल यहाँ बनाना है, एंड वो मॉडल हम खाली, जैसे अभी कहा था डॉक्टर तावरी कमल ने, कि वो खाली हमारे इंटेलेक्चुअल टॉक से नहीं होगा. वी हैव टू डू समथिंग ऑन द ग्रास रूट लेवल. आपकी सबकी गाइडेंस चाहिए, एंड हमारे जो वॉलंटियर्स काम कर रहे हैं उसमें आपका पार्टिसिपेशन चाहिए. आप कहीं पर आपके पर्सनल प्रेजेंस, और कहीं पर अगर आपकी ऐसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन हो जिनके साथ वॉलंटियर्स हो, तो दे कम विद अस एंड वी गो टुगेदर देयर, तो थोड़े से और बढ़ जाएं. But we have a plan, concrete plan, to reach out to every person in India individually within the next 3 years. तो जो कॉल फिर ऊपर से आएगी, जो इंटेलेक्चुअल्स देंगे, जो गुरुज देंगे, जो हमारे साथ में जुड़ते जा रहे हैं लोग, और उसके लिए पहले से रिसेप्टिव होंगे नीचे के लोग, वो पहले से जानते होंगे. तो हम पहले एक मॉडल यहाँ क्रिएट करेंगे. इस यहाँ पर जिस मॉडल के अंदर ये होगा कि हमारा जो कल्चर, ये अभी आपने यू सेड अबाउट द एंशिएंट पीपल हियर, I fail to understand that in the last 74 years we have not been able to know the demands of these people whom we call Naxalites. हमें ये पता नहीं है वो क्या चाह रहे हैं. They are
Right.
just killing. So, itni simple thing that they want to preserve. They are not against modernization. They are not against it. They just
Yes.
want to preserve their culture.
Yeah.
And we do not know what they want.
Right.
It's so
Yes.
strange. So
Yes.
हम जब personally हर एक के पास पहुंचते हैं, तो we know what their aspirations are, what they want. The different cultures preserve them. And जैसे United States of America है, तो बहुत सी states का एक union है. सोवियत यूनियन था जब, तो वो बहुत सी स्टेट्स की यूनियन थी. Then it disintegrated. तो अब हम दोबारा इंटीग्रेशन होना चाहिए. इस वक्त now we are disintegrated. हमारा we go to the integration again to preserve different cultures, and we come together with concept of brotherhood, the progeny of one man and wife. इस्लाम कहता है, यानी सारे इस्लामिक स्कॉलर्स कहते हैं, they believe in it, that Adam and Eve, the first man and wife, they descended in India, in a part of India. So so the humanity started from here. The Muslims believe it. So हमारी पुण्य भूमि हुई, मेरी नहीं, इंडियन मुस्लिम्स की नहीं, पूरे वर्ल्ड की. अब इस चीज को उनको रिमाइंड कराना है बस. They know it, they already know it कि हम सबकी पुण्य भूमि ये हुई. तो फिर हम यहाँ से चलेंगे, इसको स्टार्ट करेंगे, इस क्रांति को और इस रेवोल्यूशन को. तो इसको लेकर, जैसे आपने पहले बोला था कि ये डिफरेंसेस जो चले गए हैं, ये हमारे मूल ग्रंथों की अंडरस्टैंडिंग जो खत्म हुई है. जो कुरान कहता है कि ज़ालिका दीनुल क़य्यम, द एग्जैक्ट ट्रांसलेशन ऑफ दीनुल क़य्यम इज सनातन धर्म. क़य्यम इज जो हमेशा से कायम है, जो सदा से चला आ रहा है, दैट इज सनातन. एंड दीन इज नॉट रिलीजन, इट इज धर्म. सो कुरान ने वर्ड भी नहीं बदला. कभी ये नहीं कहा कि कोई नया जो है वो धर्म लेकर आ गए. किसी एक उनकी ट्रेडिशन, ये हदीस जिसे कहते हैं, व्हाट वी कॉल हदीस, द सेइंग्स ऑफ द प्रॉफिट मोहम्मद, कोई एक भी ये नहीं कहती कि वो कोई नया धर्म लेकर आए. लेकिन यहाँ सब धर्म अलग अलग हो गए, इसलिए कि वो अपने मूल से हटे हैं. वो उस मूल की तरफ हम वापस लेकर जाते हैं उन्हें, and we integrate them.
Sir, so I see three parts to your answer. The first part, you focused on words, that it has presence in about 150 districts, you said.
Yes.
Yeah. So my point there, as you know, one of my mentors used to say, is that it's not an or word, that whether you do bottoms up or top down, it's an and word, that we need both grassroots up approaches as well as top down, global down approaches. And I'll tell you why. My key proposition is that today, millions of grassroots voices are making relentless effort. You know, lots of sweat and blood is going into it, but their voices are not heard when the global protocols are being set. At the same time, there are these global powers which have concentrated wealth disproportionate to what they probably deserve. And we are not able to do anything about it, but nothing stops them from dictating and superimposing themselves right up to the grassroots level. So unless we create a sandwich, bottoms up and top down approach, so a word being on the ground must have a GES, which kind of brings together not just word, but also CRDG, also defined value consultancy, which also look for also thousands and millions of such organizations. And then if somebody like Sri Dushyant Daveji, who is such a legal authority, if he can help us create a new legal structure, which has to be extra constitutional, because one of the fundamental things we are questioning is the contradiction between India's aspiration to be Vishwaguru, which has been a public declaration by people in the government themselves, and the sovereignty of the nation state. So if you maintain your sovereignty, everyone else will maintain their sovereignty, then who will listen to the Vishwaguru? So this contradiction, I'm once again highlighting this, and I would like to focus the discussion once again on the key question that I asked, that is our constitution a bundle of contradictions when it puts together sovereignty, and it kind of undermines our indigenous aspiration as a Vishwaguru, not just as an aspiration, but also as a responsibility, as a thought leader, as a teacher. And in the way even our so-called underprivileged way people conduct themselves, We are not a Lebanon, we are not a Syria. I'm just giving examples that even though we are exploited, even though we are, completely dispossessed, only, in some stray pockets, in extreme circumstances, we have seen people resorting to violence. So for a fair and just, for a fair and just world order, so that's the first part where I would like to request is that is work open to combine with thousands and maybe millions of grassroots level organizations. Number one. The second part that you mentioned about the, that when there is a pralay and they collect all the seats and only few people remain on the boat. The story that you mentioned. Now the point is that we are witnessing another kind of pralay, which another mentor used to say, this is led by misconceived science. We tend to believe modern science blindly, but it's come a full circle in a way that what orthodoxy of church was in the times of Galileo is what modern science has become. So it is not science in a liberal rationalist fashion, but as an orthodoxy. So I come back to, and then the third part you mentioned about the syncretism, about how religion can become a powerful instrument. So we question that it's not an opium for the masses, it's a way to motivate and enroll and inspire people with a faith by better understanding that we are all just difference in terminology, difference in vocabulary, but not in our intent, not in our ethos, not in the spirit. So that brings us to our consciousness mentor and who's much younger, Payal Kakria ji. So as an Indian diaspora, what chances do you see that the youth today will not repeat the same mistakes that, for example, the previous generations made of getting swayed by modern science in believing it blindly, in allowing our Ayurvedic systems or the Unani system to be called as quackery, and allopathy, which is highly questionable today. There is a WHO guideline that remdesivir is a specific medicine, and then they reverse it. So WHO, which some people have called as worldwide harassment by oligarchs. So Payal Kakria ji, how do you think that the youth today are, उनमें क्या पात्रता है कि वो इस बात को सुने और समझे? Are you there?
Please unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now? Okay. देखिए चंद्र विकास जी, मुझे ऐसा लगता है, ये मेरा एक पर्सनल बिलीफ है कि आज के यूथ में बहुत ज्यादा पोटेंशियल है. They are really awake in terms of technology. उनको सिर्फ उनकी भाषा में वो चीज समझाने की जरूरत है. That's what I personally believe. क्योंकि मेरे खुद के बच्चे हैं, I know कि यंगस्टर्स, क्योंकि हमारा एक जो जनरेशन गैप है, हमें उसकी वजह से लगता है कि बच्चे बहुत ज्यादा वेस्ट की तरफ ड्रिफ्ट हो गए हैं, जो हो भी गए हैं, उसमें कोई डाउट नहीं है. लेकिन अगेन कमिंग बैक टू द सेम पॉइंट कि सही तरीके से सही ज्ञान को आगे पहुंचाने से जरूर फर्क पड़ेगा. और हमारे यूथ के पास बहुत ज्यादा पोटेंशियल है. वी आर वन ऑफ द यंगेस्ट कंट्रीज. So in the coming times, again, I have full faith that we will be in a very good position to lead and be a role model and be an example. And youth needs to be targeted. उनको हम बच्चों को छोड़ नहीं सकते हैं, क्योंकि वो ही हमारे आगे आने वाली फ्यूचर जनरेशन है. हम जो अपना बैटन है, कहते हैं ना कि जब हम रिले रेस में भागते हैं तो हम लोग अपना बैटन उन्हीं को पकड़ा के आगे जाने वाले हैं. So the future generation has to be trained, and it is our responsibility. हम इसको as parents, as big brothers, sisters, जैसे मर्जी समझ के अपनी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेके कि हाँ ये ज्ञान हमें, देखिए सारी बात ज्ञान की है. इफ यू आर नॉट अवेयर, अगर आप सुप्त अवस्था में हो, आपको पता ही नहीं है कि हम किस ट्रेजर के ऊपर बैठे हुए हैं. We are sitting on gold. We are sitting on so much wealth. So people are not realizing just because they don't know. वो कह रहे हैं हमें किसी ने बताया ही नहीं, हमारे बड़े बुजुर्गों ने कभी हमें ऐसे बात ही नहीं की ऐसी, तो हमें कैसे पता लगेगा? हम अपने बच्चों से तब एक्सपेक्ट करें जब हमने उनको बैठ के वो हम पहले खुद अपने आप को समझाएं वो चीज, हमारे पहले फंडामेंटल्स क्लियर होने चाहिए. द प्रॉब्लम इज दैट वी आर मिसिंग ऑन द फंडामेंटल्स. चाहे हम गीता पढ़ लें, कुछ भी पढ़ लें, समझ नहीं आती है क्योंकि फंडामेंटल्स क्लियर नहीं है.
तो पायल जी, मेरा सवाल ये है कि अभी से कुछ समय पहले तक जब इन फंडामेंटल्स को एजुकेशनल करिकुलम में लाने की बात होती थी तो कहा जाता था कि ये कम्युनल कंटेंट है, पर अब जबकि हमारे यहाँ एक नेशनलिस्टिक और जो सांस्कृतिक राष्ट्रवाद की बात करते हैं, लगभग 7 साल हो गए, तो अब कौन सी रुकावट खड़ी हो गई है? अब कौन सी ऐसी चुनौती है कि हम उस करिकुलम को, उन फंडामेंटल्स को उस करिकुलम में नहीं ला पा रहे?
देखिए, ये हमें सही से इसका एक फ्रेमवर्क बना के हमें सही से इसको प्रेजेंट करना है. आप समझ रहे हैं, आप किसी के सामने गोल्ड ले जाएं, उसको पता ही नहीं लगेगा, या डायमंड ले जाएं, वो कहेगा ये तो पत्थर है, ये क्या लेके आए हो आप मेरे सामने? उसको नॉलेज नहीं है ना. आप उसको बताइए कि इसकी ये वैल्यू है, ये पत्थर है और ये डायमंड है. हमारा अगर हम इसको करिकुलम में ऐड नहीं करेंगे तो हम लोगों को क्या डिसएडवांटेजेस हो रही हैं. एंड दिस इज नॉट समथिंग न्यू दैट वी आर इंट्रोड्यूसिंग. हमें अपने पास्ट को लेके बताना पड़ेगा कि हम ऑलरेडी ये पास्ट में चीजें कर चुके हैं. सो वी नीड लीडर्स, वी नीड सेल्फ एक्चुअलाइज्ड लीडर्स टू गो फॉरवर्ड and put their point in front of right people. People who can understand, people who are open-minded, people who are ready to listen. क्योंकि closed mindset के साथ आप किसी के सामने कुछ जाके रखेंगे, वो accept ही नहीं करेगा. वो कहेगा नहीं नहीं, जो हमारा चल रहा है ये तो सब ठीक चल रहा है, आप क्यों बीच में आके विघ्न खड़ा कर रहे हो? तो उनको बताना पड़ेगा कि ये रोड ब्लॉक नहीं है, ये विघ्न नहीं है. हम लोग आगे स्पीड पे बढ़ सकें, उसके लिए हमें ये रोड ब्लॉक हटाना है और उसके लिए हमें ये करिकुलम में इंट्रोड्यूस करनी ये चीज. कुछ भी है हमारे गुरुकुल सिस्टम में से है, हमारी इतनी अच्छी चीजें हैं, तो हम उनको क्यों पीछे छोड़ रहे हैं? क्योंकि उसका मैजिक ही भूल गए हैं.
चंद्रा साहब, ये संजय साहब जो है, मिस्टर संजय कुमार शर्मा ने बहुत देर तक हैंड रेस किया और डॉक्टर ताऊरी कमल बहुत देर.
मैं बस अगला उनके पास ही आऊंगा. अभी थोड़ी सी एक कॉन्टेक्स्ट बनाए हुए हैं कि पायल जी जो कह रही हैं कि जो पॉलिटिकल मास्टर्स हैं, जिनको ये डिसीजंस लेने हैं, जिनको लेजिस्लेट करना है, चाहे वो सीबीएसई के माध्यम से हो, यूजीसी के माध्यम से हो, वो उनमें वो पात्रता नहीं है. वो सीधा सीधा ये कह रही है. तो मैं दुष्यंत दवे जी के पास वापस आता हूँ कि क्या लीगल इनोवेशन, क्योंकि आप भी बात कर रहे हैं कि टैगोर ने ब्रिटिश इंपीरियलिस्ट को कहा कि वो कार्निवोरस और कैनिबलिस्टिक है. ये दुष्यंत दवे जी ने अपने वक्तव्य में पहले ही बात को रखा. तो क्या लीगल इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स, क्या इनोवेटिव मेजर्स हो सकते हैं? क्योंकि बार बार मैं इसी बिंदु पे आ रहा हूँ कि एक जो इंटरनेशनल डिक्लेरेशन है, भले ही वो इन्फोर्सेबल ना हो, उसमें लीगल टीथ ना हो, लेकिन वो एक साइंड डॉक्यूमेंट है, एक यूनानिमसली इंटरनेशनल नेशन ऑफ स्टेट, जो कम्युनिटी ऑफ नेशन स्टेट्स है, उनके द्वारा डिक्लेयर किया गया है. तो उसमें यदि लिखा है कि आपके एजुकेशन सिस्टम, जो इंडिजिनस एजुकेशन सिस्टम है, उसको अगर राष्ट्र राज्य आपका नेशन स्टेट लाने में सक्षम नहीं है, तो आप उसको चुनौती दे सकते हैं एक डायलॉग प्रोसेस के बाद, और उसके बाद आप एक इंडिपेंडेंट पॉलिटिकल एंटिटी डिक्लेयर कर सकते हैं. और उसका एक रास्ता ये भी है कि देयर इज अ फॉर्मेशन कॉल्ड अनरिप्रेजेंटेड नेशन एंड पीपल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, UNPO, as part of the United Nations framework. So Dushyant Dave ji, is that the last resort? Do we need to take this course without delaying any further? Do you think the time has come?
I do not think that any kind of a structure, legal or otherwise, can really help this country. Dekhiye, I mean, as Payal ji very rightly said, what we need is a messenger. You know, just take 2 examples. Buddha, Gautam Buddha. His message of love for all creatures, it not only spread in India, but it went abroad. It traveled so many seas It traveled across races. It traveled across various climates. It traveled across all kinds of people. And it has now been accepted as one of the finest, way of life that, Southeast Asia and China and other countries have adopted. So we needed a messenger like that, Shankaracharya. When, Hinduism was under challenge from both Jainism and Buddhism, it was Shankaracharya who traveled from one end to the other of the country and, let people know what Hinduism is about. It was a message of love. Now, take, for example, even, Akbar, the great Mughal emperor, Din-e-Ilahi. What did he want in Din-e-Ilahi? It was, he got an amalgam of all religion and all, interpretations of religion to make this beautiful document, because he believed that it is only with love that you can really have a nation which can have prosperity and peace. Now, whatever you may do, I am not prepared to accept any of these arguments that you can reform, yourselves with some kind of a legal structure or some kind of education and by going to various districts, etc., etc. Those are great efforts. I commend them. I respect them. But as I understand, and I've been a lawyer for 42 years, as I understand, the essential problem in India today is complete, misunderstanding of what governance is, what misunderstanding of what, the political powers are, what misunderstanding of what bureaucratic obligations are. Nobody, if there is one religion which can work in this country, it's the religion of Constitution. Nothing else can work. If we try and do anything, so everybody must understand and swear by the Constitution that whatever they do as citizens or those in power, whatever they do, it will be in accordance with the Constitution. And if the Constitution has such beautiful, objects, it has such beautiful provisions, and if it is implemented vigorously, because I do feel that nationalism has no place in a modern democracy. It has no place. In fact, it runs completely counter to the constitutional ethos and constitutional morality. So I am very clear in my mind that unless we bring a culture where constitutional morality, and Einstein had said once very beautifully, that every citizen's determination to defend the Constitution till the last drop of blood in his body, till that kind of a situation comes, I don't think any amount of effort can really, we are now beyond redemption to my mind.
Yeah. Dushyantji, I see a paradox here. At once the Constitution seems to be liberating from our troubles, and at once it seems to be imprisoning under a set framework which was written about 70 years back, when the ground realities were very, very different. So I think the due constitutional review process has not been engaged, and that's why we are in so much trouble. But whenever I get into,
let me say, sorry to interrupt you. Our Constitution does not need any amendments. The Constitution as it stands is an outstanding document.
okay,
And if that document is followed in true letter and spirit, I don't see this country can have any problem whatsoever. But nobody bothers about the Constitution. Neither the judiciary is able to enforce it properly. Executive has no respect for it, and citizens are completely unaware of it. So
Yeah.
it's a very, you don't need any amendment. Let us,
sir, that's where I see the paradox. So if the Constitution doesn't provide any reign on the executive, which is moving unbridled and even anti-people, as your own words, so that's the paradox. And whenever I caught
that
in
is the
such little,
implementation. That is the implementation. That is not
I
the
get
defect of
your
the
point.
Constitution.
Yeah, but the paradox remains in the way that why Constitution is not able to think comprehensively and
I
in a
will tell you,
far-sighted manner.
just
So
a
there
sec.
certainly
I'll tell
the
you,
paradox
Dr.
remains
Ambedkar,
unaddressed.
just a sec. Dr. Ambedkar said this. He said, we have made a beautiful document. If it fails, it is not because the document is wanting in any manner, but because the man has become vile. I
Okay.
think we, the Indians of today, are failing the Constitution. The Constitution is not failing us.
Sir, I respect your viewpoint, and I'm sure we'll come to it. Professor Sanjay Kumar Sharma is the person who I go to whenever I'm caught in a difficult situation. He's been a mentor, a guide, and philosopher, and a good friend. He's from IT BHU, and he was the head of civil engineering department at an engineering college where we together set up an innovation lab. And we also wrote a paper which was accepted for an international conference in Australia. It was called Congress for New Urbanism. Professor Sanjay Kumar Sharma, you've been listening to all the speakers, and we are still not getting close to the answers. So can you get us a bit closer? What's the real identity of Bharat? Is it another nation state, or is it a microcosm of the world itself? Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam in a microcosm with all its diversity. Because a nation state, single nation state cannot be so diverse.
You said you remember me when you get into a problem. Are you in a problem now?
Yes, sir.
आपने कहा था समस्या होती तो मेरा मुझे ध्यान करते हैं. Are you in a problem now?
थोड़ा आवाज क्लियर नहीं आ रहा. थोड़ा
वो कह रहे कि आप उनको प्रॉब्लम के वक्त याद करते हैं, तो अभी क्या प्रॉब्लम आ गई आपको?
अच्छा, हाँ हाँ.
I'm just kidding, but then let's get to some serious part of it. देखिए, कुछ मूल बातों पे आते हैं. क्योंकि मैं एक ग्रामीण कार्यकर्ता भी रहा हूँ और कॉलेजों में भी पढ़ाया है और बहुत सारे बच्चों से, इनफैक्ट as good as 4,500 students I had a fortune to mentor in a single year. तो मैं बस ये कहना, और बहुत सारे हमारे साथ 300 अध्यापक भी रहते थे ऐसे कॉलेजों में मैंने जब कार्य किया है, तो उसके हिसाब से कुछ बेसिक बातें कर लेते हैं. बेसिक ये है, एक मैं बहुत ही जबरदस्त व्यक्तित्व से मिला था, उनका नाम है नागराज जी. नागराज जी जो कि मध्यस्थ दर्शन के प्रवर्तक हैं. तो मैंने उससे पूछा कि भारत का भला कैसे होगा, भारतोत्थान कैसे होगा, तो उनका बहुत ही जबरदस्त फंडामेंटल जिनके क्लियर होते हैं ऐसे व्यक्ति रहे हैं, और इस सेंचुरी और प्रीवियस सेंचुरी के बहुत ही जबरदस्त जिनकी फिलॉसफी पढ़ी जा सकती है, पढ़ने योग्य है, उस पर मैं ध्यान ला रहा हूँ अपने साथियों का. हियर इफ दे हैव नॉट हर्ड ऑफ ए नागराज जी, अग्रणी नागराज जी, तो कृपया देख लेंगे. मध्यस्थ दर्शन के नाम से आप देखेंगे तो कुछ अच्छी चीजें नजर में आएंगी. बाकी आपके ऊपर, नो इम्पोजिशन. मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि नागराज ने कहा कि भारत का मतलब क्या समझते हो. मैंने कहा भारत उत्थान कैसे, भारत का मतलब क्या समझते हो, धरती से. तो मतलब he that was 2009, he brought the question back to me. I was a bit surprised. I said मतलब कोई और उत्तर नहीं था. भारत उत्थान का मतलब ठीक है, धरती की बात जरूर कर रहे हैं, लेकिन देश व्यक्तियों से मिलकर बनता है, लोगों से मिलकर बनता है. जैसे अलमा साहब ने नेक्सलाइट्स प्रॉब्लम के बारे में कहा है, हम कहेंगे कि नेक्सलाइट्स हो या बहुत सारे भाई बहन हो पूरे देश में, लगातार डाउन ट्रोडन वर्ड हमारे यहाँ यूज होते रहे हैं सालों साल से. मैंने भी उस पर एक थीसिस लिखने का प्रयास किया था. So what I am saying is, governments after government, this includes so-called pre-independence को भी so-called independence ही बोलता हूँ. So-called pre-independence day की जो सरकारें वहां से लेके अब तक पिछले लगभग 100 साल के so-called विकास पे ध्यान देंगे. हमने मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द पॉपुलेशन को हमने बाहर रखा है. उससे किस प्रकार का विकास है ये, चाहे एजुकेशन हो, चाहे आप डेवलपमेंट पैटर्न की बात कर लें, तो कहाँ है नेशनलिज्म. आप इंटरनेशनलिज्म में जाना चाह रहे हैं, अवश्य चाहिए, क्योंकि अब गाड़ी नेशनलिज्म से आगे निकल चुकी है. सारी की सारी जो समस्याएं या जितने समाधान हैं वो वैश्विक ही होंगे. तो एक तरह से अच्छा है कि हमने नेशनल समस्याओं का समाधान तो किया नहीं, पर चलो अब इंटरनेशनल जो हमारे सामने एजेंडा आ रहा है, इंटरनेशनल जो हमारे सामने बेसिकली ओवरऑल डेवलपमेंट आ रहा है, जो हम एक यूनिवर्सल या ग्लोबल डेवलपमेंट की बात कर सकते हैं. नेशनल डेवलपमेंट में तो एज ए सोसाइटी हम सुपर फेल्योर्स रहे. ठीक है, मैं कोई इन तबकों की बात नहीं करना चाहता जिन्हें छोड़ के 20 या 30%, अभी तक तो 10-15% रहा है, वर्गीय आगे रहा है. एट व्हाट कॉस्ट? सीरियस एनवायरमेंटल, सोशल फैब्रिक एंड ह्यूमन कॉस्ट हैव बीन देयर. वेयर इज डेवलपमेंट? डेवलपमेंट को कैसे परिभाषित करेंगे जब तक किसी भी देश का, किसी भी मुल्क का 100% व्यक्ति आप साथ नहीं ले जाना चाहते हैं आप कितना ही राष्ट्रवाद चिल्ला लीजिए, आपने मुझे स्ट्राइडेंट शब्द भेजा, मैंने कहा थोड़ा डिक्शनरी में भी चेक कर लूं, आपके लहजे से मुझे स्ट्राइडेंट का समझ तो आ रहा था कि क्या कहना चाह रहे हैं, मैंने कहा थोड़ा डिक्शनरी में चेक करने में बुराई नहीं है, और अभी बैठे बैठे दोबारा चेक कर रहा था। इट सेज लाउड एंड अनप्लेजेंट साउंड, तीव्र और कान फोड़ू। यदि ये है, चिल्लाने से कोई राष्ट्रवाद नहीं होता है। जो लोग किसी ने भी चिल्लाया, मैं कहूँ यदि भूले भटके भी हैं, चाहे वो प्रेजेंट डिस्पेंसेशन में हो चाहे आउट में हो, उनको सब भाई बहनों को साथ लाना भी आपकी मेरी और यहाँ जितने सबकी जिम्मेवारी है। हम सिर्फ क्रिटिकल होके क्रिटिक करके ही चुप नहीं रह सकते। सबका साथ सबका विकास जो माननीय कहते हैं उसको सही मायनों में लागू करना पड़ेगा जमीन तक, सिर्फ कहने से नहीं होगा। सबका साथ सबका विकास सबका विश्वास, it has to be implemented down there. Chandra Vikas ji, you have a Vikas in your name. We look forward up to you and to, Hitesh, just I saw here, and, Alma Saab and to Dushyant Dave ji and all the distinguished panelists and all, brothers and sisters and friends who have joined here. कि चलो मिलकर कुछ ढंग का ऐसा काम करते हैं कि पहले राष्ट्र में क्या एक कल के डिस्कशन में भी था, आपने सवेरे जो पैनलिस्ट साहब बुलाए हुए थे, मेरे को असीम साहब को बुलाया हुआ था, उन्होंने कहा था कि क्या हम ये सुनिश्चित कर पा रहे हैं कि एक एक व्यक्ति के घर में भोजन पहुंच रहा है। तो क्या किस नेशनलिज्म की बात कर रहे हो, किस राष्ट्रवाद की बात कर रहे हो। तो पहले
यही बात झारखंड के मुख्यमंत्री हेमंत सोरेन जी ने भी कहा कि राम मंदिर तभी बनेगा जब कोई भूखा नहीं सोएगा।
जी जी,
जब
तो
तभी राम मंदिर बनना सार्थक होगा। तो मेरा ये कहना है, अब थोड़ा सा मैं पार्टिसिपेंट्स के क्वेश्चन एंड आंसर्स के लिए अब सजेस्ट करूंगा, क्योंकि अब समय काफी हो चुका है और मुझे लगता है कि अभी तक का जो डिस्कशन है बहुत ही सार्थक रहा। हो सकता है हम बिल्कुल सहमति
कंक्लूड कर रहा हूँ अपनी बात को। मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि राष्ट्रवाद की सही मायनों में रेलगाड़ी तो भारतवर्षों से छूट गई, चाहे वो कोई भी सरकारें हो, चाहे कोई भी पूरा मिलके कभी समाज अभी हो नहीं पास करना है, वो तो गाड़ी छूट गई है। अब जो इंटरनेशनल ग्लोबलाइज यूनिवर्सलिज्म की समय के अनुसार जो एक गाड़ी चल पड़ी है, चढ़ जाओ उस पे। अपने जो छोटे मोटे भेद है भाई, वो तो मुझे तो एक बहुत बढ़िया एक फिल्म हीरो है, वो तो एक मतलब नाम उनका भूल रहा हूँ, बहुत ही नाना पाटेकर जी, तो उन्होंने तो ऐसे दिखाया ब्लड की क्या, ब्लड में क्या अलग है। तो यदि हम जैसे वी ऑल ये जो है ना,
संजय जी माफ कीजिएगा, दुष्यंत दवे जी का मैसेज आया कि उनको कहीं जाना है, तो हम कुछ क्वेश्चंस के लिए उनको थोड़े समय के लिए निवेदन करेंगे रुकने के लिए, तो फिर हम आप पे वापस आते हैं। और थोड़ा सा ना आपका ये सिग्नल क्वालिटी भी ठीक नहीं लग रहा है
जी,
तो वीडियो ऑफ करके अगर बात करेंगे तो शायद आवाज क्लियर आएगी, क्योंकि मेरे एंड पे तो पूरा सुनने पे नहीं बन रहा था।
क्लियर यहाँ पर भी नहीं आ रही है।
दवे जी का मैसेज है, तो कोई पार्टिसिपेंट से मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि देयर एनी क्वेश्चन वी मे लाइक टू टेक देम बिफोर दुष्यंत जी हैज टू लीव इन जस्ट अबाउट ही सेड जस्ट अबाउट फ्यू मिनट्स।
जी चंद्र विकास जी, पार्टिसिपेंट्स में सबसे पहला पार्टिसिपेंट तो मैं ही हूँ जो क्वेश्चन करना चाहूंगा। और वो दुष्यंत दवे जी के जो उन्होंने बातें की उस रिलेटेड ही था।
कितना मिनट कहा है अभी उनका मैसेज मैं देख रहा था, in 5 minutes. So can we have questions that are addressed to him?
उन्होंने यूथ को लेके कंसर्न जताया कि मतलब यूथ जो है गलत डायरेक्शन में जा रहा है। तो उसको लेके हमेशा मेरा डिस्कशन यूथ से रहता ही रहता है। कि एक एग्जांपल के लिए कह दूं कि हेल्थ का लेके बहुत मजाक उड़ाते हैं, जैसे जो 50-60 साल के लोग हैं वो 25 साल के यूथ का मजाक ऐसे उड़ाते कि इसकी उम्र में हम तो ऐसे थे, हम तो बड़े जोश में थे, और अभी भी वो 25 साल के लड़कों से ज्यादा जोशीले दिखते हैं कुछ जो एक्टिव है। तो यहाँ पे ये दिखता है कि उन्होंने अपने टाइम पे बहुत सारी चीजें प्योर खाई है, प्योर घी था, प्योर खाना था, प्योर फल थे। आप सारी चीजें हाइब्रिड आ रही है, सब मिलावट के साथ आ रही है, दूध भी मिलावट के साथ आता है। तो अपने बच्चों को तो सब मिलावट वाला खिला दिया। मतलब पिछले जनरेशन ने ये 60 साल की जो है वो उन्होंने 30 साल के जनरेशन को सारी मिलावट की चीज दे दी। और जब यहाँ तक कि
एक चीज मैंने यूथ की कोई मजाक नहीं की है, सो आई कंप्लीटली डिसएग्री विथ यू दैट आई हैव सेड एनीथिंग। आई रिस्पेक्ट द यूथ and I see great future for India. In fact, I feel that our generation is letting the youth down by not giving them a nation which they deserve. So I personally feel that youth have a great role to play, and it is youth alone perhaps, because I don't think my generation is willing to really walk in the right direction on the path of truth. So it is the youth perhaps which can really do that, and which perhaps will take this country into to make a better world. So please don't misunderstand me. You have misquoted.
Sir,
me.
would that include an upgraded
Yeah.
constitution?
Yeah.
Sir, youths, on the behalf of youths, I would like to
Yeah.
demand an upgraded constitution for several reasons. And I think this is not the scope of this discussion. So I think I'll talk to you offline on this, but I sincerely believe.
Can I put this in a
Any other
question?
question?
It will
Any
it will
other
complete my
question?
question.
Before
Yeah.
yeah.
Regarding the right direction that you said that they are not following the truth, मतलब मैंने मिलावट की बात जो की ना, यहाँ तक कि जो ट्रुथ भी है, मतलब हम जैसे मूल ग्रंथ को भी कहते हैं, तो धर्म भी मिलावट के साथ मिली उनको, दर्शन बहुत सारे दार्शनिक चीजों के साथ.
ये है ना बहुत ही what is religion? Religion is nothing but a way of life, whether it is Hinduism, it's Islam or Christianity or Buddhism or Zoroastrianism or Sikhism. It's a way of life. Everybody leads life in a particular way only to find truth. We all are searching for truth in through different interpretation of that life. That's it. There is no difference. Yes, people, take advantage. I mean, not today. For thousands of years, religion has become a vehicle to wage wars, to kill people. So that's not going to change, because anybody who is in power would always like to mislead people because he wants to perpetuate the power. It is for us to understand what religion is, who my Ram is. I only look at my Ram as Maryada Purushottam, who will not approve of what is being said in his name today. So it's very different. It's a very personal way of looking at it. Every religion is beautiful. Every religion has a beautiful message. But it's a misinterpretation which is causing the problem. That is not going to be easy to really overcome. Everybody, whether it is a religious leader or a political leader, they all want to misinterpret it only to perpetuate his power.
Thank you, sir. I would like to take questions from other people in the attendees. Javed Ahmed Khan has raised his hand. I will allow him to talk. Ji, Javed ji, you can unmute yourself.
Okay, Kirti ji, I think Dushyant Dave ji had to leave. So is it okay? So Pranam sir,
Yeah.
thank you so
Thank you
much
very much.
for
Thanks a
gracing the
lot.
occasion.
Thank you.
Just a request, if anyone has question for Dushyant Dave ji, they can just send it in the comment box. I will send it to him.
Yeah,
I will message it to
very
him.
much.
Thank
And
you.
my warmest greetings to all my co-panelists. My apologies. Thank you. Thank you, Chandra.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Javed ji, can you hear me, Javed ji? I think he is not able to listen to me.
Yeah.
Okay, Arvind Tiwari ji is also there he has raised the hand. I'm allowing him to talk.
Yeah.
Swami ji, can you hear me?
यस
Please.
जी, आप लोगों की बात में सुन रहा था. तो पायल काकरिया जी को जब न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी के बारे में नहीं पता है, तो वी कैन नॉट ब्लेम पायल काकरिया जी, बिकॉज न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी हैज वेरी वेल engulfed all those things as a education, including the parts of the Vedas and lot many things, not in the name of religion, but basic knowledge of Ved and various other things. So one has to understand what Payal Kakariya ji was telling is to be understood properly. If she would have been informed, she would have known that the government has taken care and the discussion is going on presently, and it has to be taken, accepted or implemented next year, 2022. So there is a time views can be said, number one. Number two, Dushyant Dave ji has gone. He said there is no need to change the constitution. And the constitution preambles, which the Supreme Court of India has held at least a number of times, that preamble is the soul of the total constitution, and it has been shattered twice. And basically in 1977, it was shattered when the major changes were done in the constitution. This change in the constitution has totally left no belief in constitution. So it has to be reconsidered, and it has to be reconstructed with the current people's perspective. Third is what Sayyid Abdullah Tariq ji was telling, the efforts being made by work and all those things has to be understood, and how the things are going, and whatever he told has to be understood entirely a different manner. The reason is in different manner. The efforts of a person which is trying to bridge the gap is getting him fatwa, and it was also discussed in one of the webinars. Then these are the efforts which has to be understood and propagated amongst all the people. Number 4, when we talk of giving employment and all those things, the basic root and basic cause of having the what we call it development has to be understood in what direction it has to be and where it has to be done. So there's a lot many things are there. Panelists have gone, only the team of work is left. I am saying cannot see the people who organizers are not visible.
They are present. They have just turned off their video.
Yeah.
Payal Kakriya ji is there.
Yeah.
Vikas Chandra ji is there.
Keenly listening to you, and also I have some counter questions. Anyway, yeah, please continue.
So I think you put your counter question. That will be better.
Yeah, so Arvind ji, my point is that I've known J.S. Rajput ji for a long time. And as you understand, he was rightly in the Atal Bihari regime, bringing together about changes, but the then environment was that Congress labeled it as communal, and it didn't happen. Now that Congress is gone and almost, wiped out from the political firmament of the country, and we are almost moving towards, partyless system. My point very clearly is that what stops the current government? You said the new education policy. I've followed it, and I've been closely in touch with. I met Ramesh Pokhriyal ji earlier, and then he was changed. Then Dharmendra Pradhan ji, who's moved from Petroleum Ministry to Education Minister. So Arvind ji, my point very clearly is that I have taken advantage. I've benefited from getting education free in the premier institutions of this country. And I really am indebted to the society, to the country. But I'm deeply aggrieved that just superficial measures with no teeth in it, with lots of distractions happening parallelly, and Jumlabaji, unadulterated Jumlabaji, goes in for governance, goes in for policy making, and then you raise one tinka and you say that pura Naiya par ho jayenge, pura Baitarni par ho jayenge. So don't make very superficial arguments that the new education policy is any good. I had started Sanskrit Bharat Abhiyan and taken it to Prakash Javadekar. I can share with you complete documents. All the Sanskrit Vidyapeeth, the Kulpati were with us. And what they said that he doesn't understand ABC of what Sanskrit really means to this country. So why did we carry Prakash Javadekar for so long? So my point very clearly is that, I'm actually, I think it's a banality to even somebody to claim that the new education policy is any serious instrument for change. So please excuse me, and we can always debate it face to face.
Okay, you have said, I think, Chandrikash ji, the main thing is new education policy. If you go through it, now you understand very well. If there is a major change of putting the Ved as a subject in the schools and colleges, you can very well understand the people from us only will come forward and agitate against it. So there will be a lot of agitation.
Please, again, another big Jumlabaji, Arvind ji.
And again, you are using the word Jumlabaji.
Yeah, because that is a Jumla. Why would I agitate against when I have read Harvard Business Review for 20 years, and that borrows lots of ideas from Upanishads.
चंद्र विकास जी, जाकी रही भावना जैसी प्रभु मूरत देखी तिन तैसी, जिसकी जो भावना है उसको वही चीज वहां लगेगी, उसी के आगे वो टिका रहेगा, उसी के बारे में वो गाना गाएगा. तो आई डोंट हैव एनी कंट्रोल.
मैं कोई एजिटेट नहीं कर रहा, मैं निवेदन करने गया था प्रकाश जावड़ेकर जी से.
नहीं, आई डोंट हैव एनी कंट्रोल.
आपको अष्टादशी कार्यक्रम के बारे में पता है, जो एक पर्सपेक्टिव प्लान लिखा गया था संस्कृत को रिवाइव करने के लिए, वो दस्तावेज कहाँ गया? आपके पास है कोई जवाब?
Pardon me, I request both of my seniors, like this discussion can be carried on like in another panel also related to this program. There are other people also waiting in the attendees. who wants to ask
Yeah,
questions
please,
related to
Arvind
this
ji,
program
I truly
itself.
respect your concern. I think we are anyway meeting very soon.
Yes, we are meeting, and I'll just
So please,
conclude.
today
I'll
let's
just
allow
conclude.
other participants,
I'll
but
just
I'm
I'll
very
just
keen to
conclude,
meet you
Chandrika.
anyway.
Chandrika ji, I'll conclude that new
Yeah.
education policy, discussions, if you are a part of discussion, then I don't know, because at some level I'm a part of the discussion. I know
Okay,
what you
fair
will.
enough. So
So
that doesn't
I know-
matter to me. I want good education system in this country, indigenous education system, which
No, no.
Payal ji is also talking about with
No, listen,
Professor
no,
Sanjay
listen to
Sharma,
me,
and I have been working on.
because the people are waiting. I just want to conclude that new
Yeah.
education policy, I don't know, you are the part of it, I don't know, but I'm participating in lot many their webinars. The group which has been interested with the responsibility of getting it implemented in the next session 2022. So
Okay.
lot many thoughts are there, and even the
Yeah.
consideration is of languages, and that's why they have given 3 language formula, and lot
Okay.
many things are being discussed, which we are discussing today. So I don't want to state further. I'm saying that have a trust in many things, and regarding Jumlabaji, I'll just say and conclude that Jumlabaji is a thought process which remains the persons who uses it. So I
Yeah.
have used
So
it. I'm sorry for
Arvind ji,
I'm
Dr.
sorry for
Sanjay
using
Rai
the-
was here yesterday. He asked that 170 countries have schools open. Why are schools closed in India?
Chandrika Shri,
I'm sorry,
now
pardon
you are
again.
asking a question, I think, which is not in line with the panel.
No,
That-
I'm
yeah.
just asking that before we change the education policy, let's get the schools reopened. When 170 countries have schools open, why are the schools and colleges closed in India?
They are started closing back. You also know
Okay,
that.
fair
Some
enough.
of-
See, if you are an apologist for the government, I think we will do it offline.
I don't have any apology for the government. Why should I apologize? I don't have any reason to apologize for the government. The government has to answer. I'm not a
I
government.
request again that we can have a panel on
Yeah,
education
can
system
we have the
also
other
for some time.
participants' questions, please?
Okay, thank you.
बाकी सबसे सुन लेते हैं, बहुत पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं, 63 करीब हैं, और
ऋषभ राज, जी संजय कुमार जी, आपकी आवाज में डिस्टरबेंस है, बहुत कट के आ रही है, सो लाइक आई विल, आपकी बात समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, अपना वीडियो ऑफ कर सकते हैं।
अच्छा, मैं बहुत सारे हमारे पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं, थोड़ा उनको भी सुन लेते हैं, अच्छा रहेगा।
ठीक है, आई एम अलाउइंग ऋषभ राज जी टू स्पीक। ऋषभ?
हाँ, नमस्कार सबको। जी, मेरे तरफ से सबको नमस्कार।
जी नमस्कार, पूछिए अपना सवाल।
मेरा सवाल है सर कि जब हम लोग कह रहे हैं कि रिलीजन के नाम पे यूनाइट होंगे, तो रिलीजन हम देखते हैं बहुत ज्यादा एक्सट्रीमिज्म की तरफ ले जाता है, जैसा हम लोग अध्ययन करते हैं सारे रिलीजन का, और साइंस हमें लिबरलिज्म की तरफ ले जाता है। और रिलीजन के नाम पे हम लोग बैलगाड़ी से आगे नहीं बढ़ पाए थे, और साइंस में हम लोग आज एरोप्लेन और स्पेस शटल सब है हमारे पास। तो ऐसा ना हो कि हम रिलीजन फॉलो करने के चक्कर में वापस बैलगाड़ी पे आ जाए। तो इस पे कैसे बैलेंस किया जाए साइंस और रिलीजन को, ताकि दोनों के बीच समन्वय बैठे और सब एक भी हो जाए। इस पे थोड़ा रोशनी डालें।
ये सवाल, ये प्रश्न किसके लिए?
या हाँ ऋषभ जी,
सारे
पहले
पैनलिस्ट।
थोड़ा सा,
अच्छा, सब पैनलिस्ट के लिए। जी चंद्र विकास जी,
हाँ,
कंटिन्यू।
तो पहले मैं थोड़ा जवाब दे देता हूँ। आज एक बैल के जोड़े की कीमत में 10 गाड़ी आ जाएगी, 10 मोटर गाड़ी आ जाएगी एक अच्छे जोड़े बैल की कीमत पे। तो बैलगाड़ी पे चलना आज एक प्रिविलेज बन के रह गया है। पहले बैलों को जो बुल ब्रीड है उसको बचाना आज देश का सबसे महत्वपूर्ण कार्य है। तो पहले मतलब मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि बैलगाड़ी को अपने सवाल से हटा लीजिए, बैलगाड़ी तक तो आप पहुंच ही नहीं पाएंगे, वो आपके मतलब बस की बात ही नहीं है।
मैं थोड़ा जवाब दूं? Should I
जी।
respond to that?
आपकी वॉइस बहुत कट रही है, शायद उन ऋषभ जी को समझ में भी ना आए, इतनी कट रही है आवाज आपकी। संजय जी?
अभी भी?
हाँ, अब ठीक है, आप बोलिए।
अच्छा, मेरा ये कहना है कि पूरे के पूरे समाज, चाहे वो भारतीय समाज हो चाहे पूरे विश्व समाज हो, डेवलपमेंट के नए पैटर्न पे जा रहे हैं। जिस टेक्नोलॉजी से, आई एम माई सेल्फ ए टेक्नोलॉजिस्ट, बहुत सारे टेक्नोलॉजी के स्टूडेंट्स को पढ़ाया, जिस टेक्नोलॉजी ने आज हमें बेसिकली पूरे विश्व को इस तरह के मोड़ पे ला दिया है कि विश्व बचेगा या नहीं बचेगा। आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग ऑफ जस्ट न्यूक्लियर बॉम्ब्स, एनवायरमेंटल कैटास्ट्रॉफीज, क्लाइमेट चेंज। और ये टेक्नोलॉजी ऐसा करता है कि ना बाप बड़ा ना भैया, सबसे बड़ा रुपया। यू नो, वी आर लूजिंग आवर फ्रेंड्स, वी आर लूजिंग आवर मेंबर्स। मतलब हम, ये जो टेक्नोलॉजी है जो कि हमने वैसे कॉपी की है, वैसे कॉपी करने की हमारे अलामा साहब बता भी रहे थे, कोई ऐसी जरूरत नहीं थी। और बहुत सारे हमारे साथियों ने भी कहा है, पायल ने भी कहा है, चंद्रविकास जी ने भी कहा है कि हमें इस तरह के विकास को भारत में मित्रों लाना पड़ेगा, भारत से शुरुआत करके पूरे विश्व में पहुंचना पड़ेगा, जो कि यहीं से ही जनित हो, जनरेटेड फ्रॉम हियर। We used to be the technology and the economy leader till 1820, 1750 के रिकॉर्ड्स हैं, 1820 के रिकॉर्ड्स हैं। जिस तरह से यहाँ की टेक्नोलॉजीज और कारीगरों को डिस्ट्रॉय किया गया, यहाँ के एग्रीकल्चर को डिस्ट्रॉय किया, दैट नीड्स टू बी रिन्यूड। एंड ऑफ कोर्स उसके बाद करीब 200 साल का विकास और उसके अच्छे बिंदु को लेके सबका साथ, सबका विकास, सबका विश्वास इन द रियल टर्म्स एंड नॉट जस्ट इन वर्ड्स लेके, हमें सब भारतवासियों को साथ लेके एक विकास का ऐसा पैटर्न जो कि गांव-गांव से जनित हो, कस्बे से जनित हो, जब उसको कर लेंगे। और मैं एक टेक्नोलॉजिस्ट होने के नाते बता रहा हूँ, गाँव में मैंने खुद 20 साल काम किया है पढ़ाई लिखाई करने के उपरांत, झारखंड, पश्चिम बंगाल एंड यू नो अदर प्लेसेस, छोटा नागपुर, प्लेटो, विद मैनी डिसएडवांटेज कम्युनिटीज। इट इज पॉसिबल, आज के समय में संभव है। तो मैं मित्रों से कहूंगा कि 14 और 15 को हम समाधान की तरफ बढ़ेंगे। चंद्रविकास जी ने इशारा भी किया था कि हमें उन दिनों में ऑर्गेनाइज करना है, कीर्ति जी। तो आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट यू इन द एंड ऑफ द प्रोग्राम टू अनाउंस दैट एंड वी कैन हैव अ ब्यूटीफुल एंड वंडरफुल वर्ड ओवर ऑल द डिविजन्स। थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर दिस क्वेश्चन ऋषभ
जी। थैंक यू संजय जी। और ऋषभ जी, आपके प्रश्न से रिलेटेड ही मेरा वो पुराना प्रश्न था कि धर्म में मिलावट के साथ, युद्ध को जो है धर्म मिलावट के साथ मिलता है। तो ये जो आप बोल रहे हैं धर्म में नुकसान पहुंच रहा है ना, मिलावट की वजह से पहुंच रहा है। ये जो हेल्थ भी नुकसान पहुंच रहा है वो भी मिलावट की वजह से। ये जैसे राष्ट्रीयता घुसा दिया कि इतनी सी बाउंड्री को ही अपना लाइक इंपॉर्टेंस दे दो। कोई भी धर्म सिर्फ इन बाउंड्रीज की बात नहीं करता है, धर्म पूरे संसार की बात करता है। तो ये किसने मिलावट कर दी धर्म के अंदर कि खाली इतना ही सोचो, इसी का सोचो। तो ये मिलावट जब निकाल देंगे तो फिर एक्सट्रीमिज्म नहीं आएगा, नुकसान नहीं पहुंचाएगा धर्म। आप जो कह रहे कि रिलीजन नुकसान पहुंचाता है, ये मिलावट की वजह से पहुंचाता है। मैं अब अल्लामा साहब के पास जा रहा हूँ
जी। बस 2 जुमलों में मैं 2 सेंटेंसेस में कहूंगा इनके ऋषभ राज जी के रिप्लाई को। धर्म वो है जो ईश्वर ने चाहा, जिसने हमें क्रिएट किया। मतलब जो इसे बिलीव ही नहीं करता उससे मैं बात, उसके बहल उससे मैं नहीं कह रहा ये कि उसने हमें क्रिएट किया। साइंस, ये वर्ल्ड भी, ये यूनिवर्स भी उसी ने क्रिएट की। यूनिवर्स में भी सिद्धांत उसी ने रखे, धर्म में भी सिद्धांत उसने दिया। अगर हम धर्म में ओरिजिनल से नहीं हट रहे तब, उसको जैसे ये कीर्ति कह रहे थे कि उसको हम करप्टेड फॉर्म नहीं ले रहे तब, तो उसके जो गाइडिंग प्रिंसिपल थे ये उसी ने क्रिएशन की और उसी ने हमें यहाँ पे जीने का तरीका बताया धर्म के थ्रू, धर्म के माध्यम से। तो ये साइंस जो है वो कभी भी उससे अलग कंट्राडिक्शन नहीं होना चाहिए। यूनिवर्स इज वर्क ऑफ गॉड एंड धर्मा और स्क्रिप्चर्स आर वर्ड ऑफ गॉड। तो वर्ड ऑफ गॉड और वर्क ऑफ गॉड में कोई कंट्राडिक्शन नहीं होनी चाहिए। कंट्राडिक्शन इसलिए लग रही है कि हमने धर्म का विकृत रूप, जैसे तुम मिलावट कह रहे हो, उसे ले लिया है। अदरवाइज हम जब तक वो गाइडिंग प्रिंसिपल्स नहीं लेंगे, तो साइंस में तुम तरक्की की बात कर रहे थे, साइंस तो पूरी डिस्ट्रॉय कर रही है पूरे यूनिवर्स को। जिस जगह पहुंच गए उन्होंने, जितना स्टॉक पाइल करके रखा है सारे वर्ल्ड को डिस्ट्रॉय करने का, वो भी साइंस है। तो साइंस के लिए हमें उसको, हम कैसे यूनिवर्स को कैसे यूज करें, ये हमें धर्म सिखाता है। और वो उसका धर्म का पार्ट है, नोइंग धर्म का पार्ट है जो अलग कर दिया गया, नोइंग द वर्ल्ड। तो वो कभी पहले जितनी वर्ल्ड थी उसे जानते थे। तो हमारे जितने भी वो लोग थे जो साइंटिस्ट थे, दे वर ऑल ग्रेट रिलीजनिस्ट। हम रिलीजन लफ्ज छोटा बोलते हैं, वो सारे धर्म को मानने वाले थे जो पुराने अच्छे साइंटिस्ट थे। और इसको हमने बात को अलग कर लिया।
जी, थैंक यू अल्लामा जी। और पैनलिस्ट ने हाथ उठाए, मैं शाहबाज अहमद जी को परमिशन दे रहा हूँ सवाल करने की। और मैं, अच्छा पायल जी है, अभी उन्होंने वीडियो ऑन किया था, अगर वो भी अपना इस क्वेश्चन पे वो रखना चाहते हैं अपना आंसर, क्योंकि उन्होंने सब पैनलिस्ट से पूछा था।
जी। अभी is someone speaking right now or I can speak?
No, you can continue.
अच्छा, तो अभी कीर्ति हम इसके जो अभी तारिक जी ने बात की है, मुझे बहुत अच्छी लगी इनकी बात। तो मैं उसी पे थोड़ा सा अपना व्यू पॉइंट शेयर करना चाहती हूँ कि रिलीजन एक्चुअली है क्या। देखिए, अब आप कोई भी, जैसे अगर हम अब सेट ऑफ ह्यूमंस लेते हैं, हम सबको एक डिफरेंट तरीके से बात समझ आती है, एक जैसी बात सबको समझ नहीं आती। आप कभी भी देख लेना, किसी को किसी तरीके से समझ आती है, किसी को किसी तरीके से समझ आती है। भगवान ने 5 उंगलियां भी अलग बनाई हैं, एक जैसी नहीं है हमारी उंगलियां, तो हम सबको एक ही बकेट में नहीं डाल सकते, ठीक है। तो ह्यूमंस जो हैं वो डिफरेंट तरीके से समझते हैं, राइट। और जैसे तारिक जी ने कहा कि यूनिवर्सल लॉ एक है लेकिन उसको समझाने के तरीके अलग हैं, क्योंकि अलग अलग लोगों को अलग अलग तरीके से बात समझ आती है। अगर अब यहाँ पे 4 स्पीकर हैं और हमारे को 50 लोग देख रहे हैं, तो किसी को मेरी बात समझ आएगी, किसी को तारिक जी की बात समझ आएगी, किसी को विकास जी की बात समझ आएगी, किसी को संजय जी की बात समझ आएगी, चाहे हम सेम ही बात बोल रहे हो। सिर्फ हमारे वर्ड्स डिफरेंट, हमारे बोलने का तरीका डिफरेंट, हमारे प्रेजेंट करने का तरीका डिफरेंट, तो किसी को कोई चीज समझ आएगी, किसी को कोई चीज समझ आएगी। तो रिलीजन जो हमारे जितने भी ये मास्टर्स हैं, चाहे गुरु नानक देव जी हैं, चाहे बुद्ध हैं, चाहे किसी भी हम स्क्रिप्चर से उठा लें, किसी भी धर्म से किसी भी गुरु को उठा लें, सबने अपने अपने तरीके से एक ही चीज जो है समझाने की कोशिश की है कि प्यार से रहो, लड़ाई मत करो, हम सबके अंदर एक ही खून है। जैसे संजय जी कह रहे थे, वी ऑल ब्लीड द सेम। हमारा दुनिया में कोई इंसान उठा लो, उसका हार्ट उसी तरीके से वर्क करता है, उसकी आंखें उसी तरीके से वर्क करती हैं। वी वर्क ऑन द सेम ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम बिकॉज देयर इज ओनली वन क्रिएटर। नाउ बिकॉज ऑफ अ सेट ऑफ रिलीजन्स, लोगों ने क्या कर लिया है, जैसे मैंने पहले बात की थी कि लोगों ने अपने आप को उस रिलीजन के साथ आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया है कि हम ये हैं, और उसके बाद उसके अंदर अंदर और सब डिविजन्स कर दिए। आप समझ रहे हैं, अगर आप क्रिश्चियनिटी भी उठाएंगे तो उसमें भी उन्होंने आगे से आगे सब डिविजन्स की हुई हैं, हर चीज को सब डिवाइडेड कर दिया है। एंड दैट इज द प्रॉब्लम। आप इसको फॉर्मूला को कहीं पे भी लगा लो, एंड दैट इज द रीजन दैट ह्यूमैनिटी इज, यू नो, वी आर डिवाइडेड, वी कैन नॉट कम टुगेदर। हमें ये डिवाइड एंड रूल जो है पॉलिसी, ये अपनी इंसान ह्यूमैनिटी से हटानी पड़ेगी। आप समझ रहे हैं। और हर फॉर्म पे आप, चाहे आप रिलीजन का वो उठा लें, हर इंसान कहेगा जो मैं सोच रहा हूं वो सही है, क्योंकि हम सुनने को तैयार नहीं है। हम अपने बिलीफ सिस्टम्स के साथ इतने ज्यादा हम यू नो वी आर स्टक कि नहीं, जो मैंने कहा वो सही है, जो मैंने सोचा वो सही है, क्योंकि वो हमारा बिलीफ सिस्टम है। तो अगर हम आपस में ही एक दूसरे की बात नहीं समझ पा रहे, या उसको यू नो एक ऑप्शन नहीं दे पा रहे कि सुनो तो सही कि दूसरा कहना क्या चाह रहा है, हो सकता है आपको समझ ना आ रही हो वो क्या पॉइंट रखना चाह रहा है। तो रिलीजन सिर्फ एक फ्रेमवर्क है कि उस फ्रेमवर्क के अंदर ऑपरेट करो। अगर आपको समझ नहीं आ रही कि क्या करना है, अगर आप खुद ट्रूथ नहीं ढूंढ पा रहे, अगर आप खुद यू नो नहीं समझ पा रहे कि परमात्मा, ये यूनिवर्स, ये डिवाइन कैसे वर्क करता है, आप डिवाइन के साथ कैसे कनेक्टेड है, क्या मतलब, अगर आपको नहीं समझ आ रहा है तो ठीक है, आप इस रिलीजन को फॉलो करें, ठीक है। लेकिन रिलीजन जो है सिर्फ एक फ्रेमवर्क है, ताकि आपको ये, जैसे हम बच्चे को कहते हैं कि बेटा डोर से बाहर नहीं जाना आपने, उसको हम ये नहीं समझाते क्यों नहीं जाना। तो रिलीजन भी ऐसा ही एक फ्रेमवर्क है, आप ऐसे करो, ऐसे करो, ऐसे करो। हर रिलीजन ने अपने अपने एक तरीके बना दिए जो उनको समझ आए। लेकिन the education, the foundation, the real value of that religion has not been passed on to the coming generation. हम अंधाधुंध होके ब्लाइंड फेथ करके हम कह रहे हैं हम ये आरती कर रहे हैं या हम ये चीज कर रहे हैं, क्यों कर रहे हैं, वाई? हर चीज का एक रीजन है, अगर उसका एक साइंटिफिक रीजन है। तो वो नॉलेज पास ऑन करना यूथ को बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। अगेन आई एम सेइंग, यूथ इज वेरी इंटेलिजेंट। जो लोग, जो हमें 30 साल में बात समझ आती थी, वो आज के 13 साल के बच्चों को बात समझ आती है। दे आर सो इंटेलिजेंट, दे आर सो एक्सपोज्ड। So all the technology, everything, we have human, we have the, you know what you say, हमारे पास इंडिया में सब कुछ है। अब वही इंडिया, हम भारत लैंड की बात कर रहे हैं, लेकिन हम विश्व गुरु बन सकते हैं। अगेन वी आर द माइक्रोकॉस्म। चंद्र विकास जी, जैसे आप बार बार कह रहे थे टुवर्ड्स द एंड ऑफ द सेशन, yes, we are the microcosm and we have to believe in ourselves. हम बिना फेथ के, बिना बिलीफ के आगे नहीं बढ़ सकते कि हम कहें जी हाँ जी हम लीडर बनना चाहते हैं, लेकिन हम बातें इधर उधर की कर रहे हैं सारे प्रॉब्लम्स की, कि हम कैसे नहीं बन सकते। वी हैव टू फोकस ऑन हम कैसे बन सकते हैं, और कैसे जो हमारी स्ट्रेंथ्स हैं उनको हम कैसे उनको यूटिलाइज करें, और वीकनेसेस को कैसे ओवरकम करें धीरे धीरे। वी नीड टू नो अवेयरनेस तो होनी चाहिए वीकनेसेस की, राइट? सो या दैट्स व्हाट आई वांट टू से, कि हम यूनाइटेड ही हैं। ये हमने खुद ही एक दूसरे को अलग अलग किया हुआ है, क्योंकि हमें समझ ही नहीं आ रही, एक इंसान को ये बात ही नहीं समझ आ रही कि we are one consciousness, we are made from the same divine matter. So इसका कोई मतलब आप इसको काउंटर नहीं कर सकते कि हम क्यों एक वर्ल्ड को हम एक फैमिली नहीं बना सकते, क्यों हम वासुदेव कुटुंबकम नहीं बना सकते. हम तब इस चीज को, क्योंकि अगर हमारे फंडामेंटल्स क्लियर हैं तो हमसे क्वेश्चन पूछो ना, हम काउंटर आपके आंसर देंगे, आपको जो क्वेश्चन मार्क्स हैं उनके हम आंसर देंगे कि क्यों नहीं बन सकते हम वासुदेव कुटुंबकम, हम क्यों नहीं बन सकते, व्हाई. वी हैव ऑल द आंसर्स. If we don't have the answers, that means our fundamentals are not clear and we need to work on it. I have full faith that in the coming times, we have to be the leaders and show the other people that they have to follow us, because we have already done the right thing.
Thank you, Payal ji. Alama Sahab has also sent a message here that he will be leaving at 8:30. Like in
so
around 5 minutes.
The time
So,
was till 8 o'clock only.
Yeah.
So we'll wind up the session now.
okay.
I think Payal ji has already wonderfully summed up the whole discussion. And I'll just leave with one teaser, which is that has religion and science exchanged its role in the last 500 years? You know, science stood on the back of challenging religion's control on state, and secularism came up. We need a new kind of secularism to separate commercialization of science from its control over the state policies and over the society. Thank you so much, everybody, and many hearty congratulations to Kirti ji, you specially, and all your volunteers, and for this wonderful webinar series that we did at a very short notice. And at this momentum, we can definitely do lots more next time around. Thank you so much, and pranam, and
Thank you very much, everyone.
goodbye.